before we do anything, I always talk to the people at the camp because they have new stuff to say. There's also day-night cycle, and I don't know if it matters yet. I'm in chapter 3 and haven't learned if that matters. But there's a day-night cycle. So, Sola has some talk.
Did you see the size of that mine entrance? Amazing, isn't it?
You mean the one behind that huge deactivated arc?
That's the one. Given the size of the entrance, I can only imagine how huge the mine must have been. Their yields must have been incredible.
I've heard the rich resources are a big part of why weavers first settled this area.
The land's hostile, but they knew it was worth the risk. Ores from the Enclave are high grade, very pure.
Okay. Dom has some talk.
Two wonders of enchanting, an arc and loom gates. We can touch them, smell them if we want. And they don't work. Maddening.
Did you?
Did I what?
Smell the loom gate.
A little, but that's beside the point. But mossy, hints of sage, a subtle yet full-bodied undertone of dirt.
Amazing. Well, now we just need to get it working.
Oh yes, should our plan succeed.
And if not?
Then it is time for Plan B, which I have not yet thought up, but I'm sure we won't need.
I like all the characters. Dom has more talk.
They are quite the thing, aren't they? Tangles, I mean.
After what it was like outside the Enclave, the ones in here are child's play.
It is an enduring mystery as to why the Veil's shadow is flooded with them. I did not expect that they would be so common inside the Enclave.
Are they common anywhere?
No. They were theoretical until the Veil went up. And then, of course, they became... political.
Okay. This is a moment where we can ask some questions. Tell me about not the Veil. Tell me about the Tangles.
What exactly are tangles?
To our best understanding, magic is more than just energy. As far as we know, raw magic is a physical substance, but normally invisible. Our mantles gather it from the air as we move, but tangles prove it can concentrate on its own.
All right. Mention politics. How is this in politics?
What did you mean by political?
The surge was specifically catastrophic towards enchanted equipment. Explosions, out-of-control activations, you name it. And tell me, logically, who were the most likely people to have enchanted items on or around them?
The rich and powerful?
Well done. So, in a single moment, you have what seem to be hundreds of assassinations.
And decades of war followed.
As I said, political.
So people had magical items on them that just started exploding, and everyone thought it was an assassination attempt on the rich. That's what he was basically saying. Also, my comment that I made in the original playthrough, a lot of people assume politics is just government. Politics is more than just government. Politics is basically in every aspect of life. You would know that if you've ever taken a political science class. But yeah, I just made that comment. I figured I'd make the comment again. Politics is a lot of things. I'm not a political science major, but I have taken classes, and I know that a lot of people are just like, oh, it involves the government, so that's politics. You talked about tangles and the theory, so let's learn a little bit more about tangles.
You said they were theoretical. What did you mean?
Lane and I have been digging. The only research on tangles we could find were thought experiments until the Veil's appearance. As you might expect, that research was done here in the Enclave. Apparently, they did not publish everything they knew.
Sounds good. Wrap up them questions.
Thanks, Dom. That helps me understand them better.
Ultimately, the most practical advice I can give is very simple. Don't stand in the murder cloud.
Never stand in the murder cloud. When it's a dot, that means they have no more talk. The only thing is, if they have a quest for you, it'll have a symbol over their head, like that. So if they have talk, you won't be able to tell. The good thing, and another thing I love about this game, if they do have a quest for you, but they also have talk, I believe you, right, yeah, you don't have to start the quest talk. Yeah, it's separated. So if you don't want to do a quest yet, and you don't want to get caught up in something like that, you don't do it until you choose it. Whereas there's a lot of games, if they have a quest for you, and you just want to get or if they have a new quest for you, because this happened to me recently, not in this game, in a different game. The character had a new quest for me, but I had to finish a quest I was already doing, and as soon as I got to them to talk to them, it started the new quest. And I was just so annoyed because I'm trying to finish a quest and I'm just getting dumped another one on top of me. This game does that a lot, and that's kind of why I'm doing another playthrough of it, is because when you're in the middle of a quest, it starts giving you more quests. I find that annoying. That's a me thing. I don't want to put all that on the game. That's why I started another playthrough, so I can be more chill and play the game the way that the game was created. So, Lane, you got some talk for me?
I couldn't help overhear Dar mentioning the surge's impact on the politics of our lands.
You really do pay attention to what happens around here, don't you?
A survival instinct. Growing up in Udea, you realize the walls have ears. If some of those ears aren't yours, you're at a disadvantage. That was actually the problem, you see?
The problem?
After the surge cascaded through the Maida, every kind of long-range magical communication broke down. So you have magical chaos and no way to confirm if your nation is under attack. You assume the worst and retaliate. Udea, my homeland, was hit hard. Our trade fleets had become rather dependent on magical navigation.
And they couldn't find their way home.
Or at least to a safe harbor. You could argue the loss of our fleets was worse than any individual war.
Because the trade network suddenly collapsed. My parents used to talk about shortages during those years. It got rough, they said.
Yes. And the worst wars are fought over resources when people are desperate. I very much hope we can find the true cause of all that suffering. And a way out to share it with the rest of the world after we do.
Yep, so that's what I was saying. The conversations you have around here spawn new conversations. So before you leave, just make sure you do another run through to see if anybody gained some new dots. But that whole conversation with Lane is basically about knocking on people and their technology dependency. Because if we're too focused on only using one type of technology, they were only using the magical technology they had. They had no other way of communication. So when everyone started dying from magical explosions from the jewelry or whatever it is...
This plan to repurpose carapace to fix the Loom Gate's conduit? Pure elegance.
Sam's idea. I only helped him with the design.
Well, you did more than help. You practically finished it.
What is this? A competition of humility? You're both brilliant, just like this design.
I can agree with that.
I suppose.
Yeah. So those are the conversations that I mentioned earlier. I don't know what starts them. I don't know if it's just standing still for a long enough time, but they'll talk to each other about things you have done or things that they have done. So in this case, what they have done. What was I saying? I've already forgotten. Oh yeah, people started exploding, and because they only had one form of communication, they were screwed. So no one could say, it's the magical items, it's not an attack. And because they couldn't get that information out there, a war happened because of miscommunication. So yeah, they're kind of just bashing society, and current society, and how we are. Oria, you have talk for me?
I believe I was promised one epic tale on how you discovered the route into the Veil's shadow.
I suppose I did promise you. Rumors of a safe passage into the shadow had been swirling among weaver circles for the last 5 years. They'd always piqued my interest, but I couldn't get a solid lead on it until 2 years ago. Weavers in a caravan bound for Don Brennig told me they no longer had a point. They'd lost an older Casil fellow who journeyed on the Strand Road before the surge. He insisted on one last big expedition before his retirement. Into the Vale's shadow. It killed him, but they got pretty close.
So you got the route from that caravan?
Not quite. The point that died was the one who led them in. He had the trade roads memorized. But it was confirmation that getting close to the Vale was possible. I spent the next few months chasing leads. Eventually, I was able to trade an Ash Peak Drake's Tooth for a map of the trade roads with a dubious Ashar woman in Tarza.
A drake's tooth?
Some people believe grinding the tooth of a drake into a powder and consuming it could have stimulating properties.
Ah.
Fools. Regardless, between the map and the other leads, I was able to plan the route that led us to the Vale's shadow a fortnight ago. The final missing piece was an apprentice point to take on the expedition with me.
Glad I could help. Thanks for sharing, Aurea.
What's a good adventure if you can't regale someone with the tale later?
Yep, and that ties into the conversation we had before we left, but that was a story conversation, a main story conversation. So, no matter what, this talk is always going to be here. So all that's left is petting you. And then doing the quest, Treading Waters, which I don't believe I read. Treading Water. Consult with Casman to learn about improving the base camp. I love games that let you rebuild things. I love games that let you build a camp, build a town, build anything. I freaking love it. Because it makes it feel like you're actually contributing to the world, to the universe. Our quartermaster Casman can improve the base camp with whatever I can scavenge on expeditions. I should go see her at the cavern to find out more. Say at the cavern, at the camp. Okay, Treading Water.
Hey, I know we need to fix up the forge, but before we do, I'd like to talk to you about something.
Sure. What's up?
I owe you an apology.
What for?
I've been a little cold since you've arrived, and I should have been more welcoming. I was just under a lot of stress with everything that happened.
You mean when we ran for our lives from a death cloud into a lost land?
Yeah, that. And losing supplies, and Aurea getting injured, and then having a point takeover who...
Lacks experience.
At the time, that's what it seemed like. But ever since we arrived, you've been more than proving yourself. You made finding food and water a top priority. That's when I realized our Weaver band is in good hands. I underestimated you when I shouldn't have. And frankly, I was a jerk about it.
It's okay, Cass.
No, it's not. I really am sorry. I hope we can have a better relationship moving forward.
Thanks. That means a lot. Let's just start fresh, okay?
I'd love that.
Okay. You mentioned you're under a lot of stress. What are you doing now? Or how are you doing now?
How are you feeling now that we're starting to get settled?
If this is settled, I'd hate to see us scrambling. I have a hard time letting my guard down when there are so many unknowns. We're still missing supplies, and our campsite isn't half what it should be. Can't see myself relaxing and smelling the roses anytime soon.
Okay. Well, I said this during my first playthrough about this is kind of a dumb question for my character to ask. My character would not ask this, but it's an option, so I'm going to choose it. Why is my role, the scout, so important?
The role of point seemed really serious to you. Can I ask why that is?
Because it is serious. If you screw up, we all die.
That seems extreme.
Think of it this way. Let's say we're low on food in the desert. If you scout 3 leagues in the wrong direction, we're all 3 leagues further away from food we need to survive.
Right. I guess I see what you mean. Still sounds like an extenuating circumstance, though.
And being the first to enter the Enclave in almost half a century isn't an extenuating circumstance.
Point taken, I suppose.
Yeah, that just makes no sense. Why would Bryn be like, why is my job so important? The person who's going out there and looking for resources, bringing back resources, discovering danger, handling that danger, why am I so important? Because as far as we know, yes, she has swords and arrows. We don't know if anyone else on the team is capable of fighting. Because our only other point has a broken arm, or a burnt, mutated arm? I don't know what's wrong with her arm. It's wrapped up in bandages. So, oh, this ties into what Lane said about how she was supposed to be the point, but it's me now.
You know, when talking to Lane, they mentioned that you actually trained to become point yourself. I was wondering if that had something to do with why we weren't getting along.
Oh, no. Being point just wasn't for me. That's all.
And that's all we get. No, we can find out more later. The more we talk to our characters. So? You offered to help with the forge?
So, I know Sola mentioned improvements to her forge meant being able to hone my sword. What does that entail exactly?
Unfortunately, the missing supplies I mentioned.
Is there a way I can help you restock?
Right now, we reserve the materials you bring back for your armors and weapons, because that's the priority. But if there's anything you can spare, I can repurpose them into supplies for our campsite.
Sounds simple enough.
Glad to hear it.
Okay. So now the way that things work is, as she said, there's different types of things. So we have salvaging. Anything we want as salvage gets broken down and turned into camp resources. We have access to everything that's in our trunk. But if anything we turn into camp resources, we can't use ourselves later. I kind of don't get that. Like, it makes no sense. I understand the whole priority because I'm the point's privilege. But if I'm not using something at the moment, I don't see why they couldn't just use it to build the camp, like why I have to convert it. Because anything I convert, I can't use. But anything, I don't, it's an odd thing. But that's what your browns are for. Is this brown? I think, yeah, this is brown. I don't know, tannish. One item, I don't know, I don't scrap anything that's above brown. One brown becomes one resource. And this is what we use to build our camp, so I typically...
These are a great start. With the supplies we've got already, we could shape up our campsite. We lost a lot of stuff when we were running for our lives, and frankly, our setup is only half of what it should be. But we can rebuild.
What do you have in mind?
Like we discussed, Sola could forge better weapons with improvements to her smithy. Like honing your sword so it can cut through arc armor. Alternatively, Dom could certainly cure better for our mantles with new tools for weaving. And to keep you in fighting form, having Lane's alchemical tools in top form is invaluable. There's no end to the improvements we could make around here. And everyone's lives would be safer for it.
What about you?
Me? Oh, I don't need anything.
Come on, there must be something.
I mean, wouldn't your shelves be nice? Sure. I also have some ideas for your supply pouches. But don't worry about me. I'm fine. Right now, improving Sola's forge is more important.
Is that an innuendo? You have some plans for my supply pouches? Yeah, if you saw, she's blushed. I guess she's still slightly blushing. It's hard to tell when she blushes and also when Severin blushes, because they don't put a vibrant color on it. But yeah, she blushed there, and we're going to bring up the idea of shelves later. and she'll blush then too. I don't know. I feel like there's romance here. Oh, then I'm gonna choose this option. I don't remember what I chose last. I think I told her I'm on it because she likes that I'm, you know, focusing on the goals, that I'm doing whatever the team needs. Oh no, I chose this one but last time. The better prepared our band. Anything that has to do with us togetherness, she likes. But I gotta choose the shelves option. You can have all the shelves you want. I'll save the day with organization. Okay.
Kaz, don't be shy. If it's shelves you want, it's shelves you'll get. We'll organize the crap out of this place in no time.
No, I don't need them.
Dang it.
I mean, it would be nice, but I'm fine.
Come on, say it with me. I deserve new shelves.
No.
Yeah, I thought that was a stretch too. Don't worry, we'll make some improvements around here.
Thanks, Bren.
Dang it. Oh, it's fine. She likes when you choose the other option about working for the team, because she doesn't put herself first. So when you try putting her first, she kind of doesn't like it. Well, at least for now. But when I bring up the shelves later on in a different conversation, she blushes because I remembered the shelves. So again, it feels like there's romance here. No one has a new conversation. Let's go ahead and... Oh yeah, so what I was saying is, every time I come back, I try to scrap. I don't scrap more than... I don't let it go below 10 unless it's already below 10. And if I get high enough, I don't let it go below 20, and so on and so forth. So, let's go ahead and upgrade. The only one we can do right now is Sola's Forge. We'll get that to level 2. Her footing is kind of bad. She's going to step off and fall.
Sola is delighted with the improvements to her forge. She can refine your sword as soon as you'd like. Great work, Bryn.
Turns out we make a pretty good team. This campsite will be top of the line in no time.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need to start directing a water flow to the camp. Maybe even install a fountain in the back. Would help to get a garden going in here too. Fruits, vegetables, medicinal herbs. Oh, that reminds me, we'll need the... What?
Do you ever take a break? You know, to enjoy a job well done?
Sure. Sometimes. Once there are fewer fires to put out, I'll relax. I swear.
Yeah, and I didn't choose the empathize with her, because acknowledging that she's anxious, I think, will upset her. So instead, I just tell her anytime there's an option that we're all a team, she loves that. So if there is romance, I'm gonna choose the ones that make her know that she's not alone, because she seems to like those. I was kind of hoping she'd say something about the shelves.
Just try to remember, it's not the end of the world if you take a break. Someone will step in to help lighten your load.
It doesn't always feel like the others realize how much needs to get done.
Then tell them. Like how you told me we needed supplies. I stepped in to help, didn't I?
You did. I see your point.
The others will do the same.
Maybe. I'd better get back to work, but this was nice.
And now she has some talk for us, and that completes treading water. Oddly enough, it had nothing to do with water, like I thought it would. Yeah, now she has some more talk for us.
It's Lane, by the way.
What's that?
They don't like to be called Lane Free. I heard you saying it to Bryn earlier. That's the name their parents chose. Lane is the name they chose.
Fair enough. Didn't realize. Thank you for letting me know. Lane, Lane, Lane. Not Lane Free, but Lane.
That's a nice little touch to the conversation that we had earlier, where Aurea called Lane Lane Free their birth name. Lane doesn't like that. So, Asmund? We can upgrade another station because we do have the resources? No, we don't. So, obviously the one that gives us our magical powers is the most expensive. But if you're looting while you're running around, you'll be fine. You'll get what you need. Oh, you had some talk for me?
Kaz, what you said about the point roll not being for you. Lane said the training was going well, and then one day, it just stopped. Can I ask why?
Honestly, it was just too much for me. The responsibility that comes with being point. I guess I caved under pressure. Leaping headfirst into danger isn't for everyone. What made you decide to become a point?
Okay. So I chose collaboration, because the other thing about Bryn doesn't really have family, doesn't really have friends. So community is a lot of Bryn's personality, so I choose things that have to do with working as a team.
I love using my skills to serve our band. It brings me a sense of community I've never felt before.
Really? That's what I love about being a quartermaster.
I guess we're both fueled by camaraderie then. I always felt like a black sheep back in Calnhaven.
And has being point given you what you're looking for?
So far, yeah.
Good. For a long time, I felt like I let Aurea down. She wanted me to continue with the training, but I just couldn't. When she offered to keep me on as a quartermaster, I was surprised. In time, it made sense, though. I always enjoyed the planning of my expeditions, more than the expeditions themselves.
So you've been happier as a quartermaster?
Yes. This is much more my speed. Besides, someone needs to hang out with Arva. Seriously. I'm more than happy to leave the creature wrangling to you.
I'm not sure I have what it takes to pack a caravan anyway.
I've seen how messy your tent is. You most definitely do not.
My tent is really clean, actually. Hold on. That's pretty clean. But you have some more talk for me. Hold on. Arva needs a pet.
When we've got supplies to spare, I have ideas for improving your pack. If we do it right, you'll be able to bring more resources back. It's all about load distribution.
And shelves.
God, yes.
Aw, I thought she blushed more than that. Maybe it's because I made a different choice. Okay, but that ended the mission of treading water. We'll wait to talk to Dom, because Dom's thing might tie into Sola's thing, because, you know, lovey-dovey.